Good morning, guys. So I'm showing you the piece of fabric that I drew on. And I was told to put it in the freezer. So I'm going to put it in the freezer. And then I'll show you guys later on what happens. I think it shows back up. Okay, guys. So I have just driven the girls to school. And I'm home all alone for the first time. All the kids are in school. Isabel's been in school for 2 days so far this year, but both of those days I was with her. So I was a parent helper. So I'm going to open this freezer and see what happened to the fabric. It did reappear. Let's see. I'll turn you around so you can see. So there you have it, folks. That's what happens when the fabric gets cooled. But in other news, I have gone on to my next band in Esther's Wave. I'm going to turn you around and show you. It is not beaded yet, so it's going to look very different, completed, than what it looks like now. In this band, just get my paper here. In this band, there's the Smyrna, is that how you say it? Smyrna stitch crosses, and then the large raised stitches. So the Smyrna stitch is basically a cross stitch with a plus sign over top of it. And it's over 4. And then the raised stitch is over 8. So I'm going to turn you around and show you. So that's what I got done yesterday. I finished the rest of the Jessica stitches, and then I did this. And this was just done in the morning or during the day. Basically the morning, because I don't stitch in the afternoon because I got other stuff to do. So yeah, I basically did this up until about noon. So I'm going to carry on. Actually, what I think I'm going to do, because this is heavily beaded. Yeah, so I'm going to bead these 3 or these 2, and then I'm going to show you the difference between this one and these ones, which will be beaded. And then I will carry on and do a couple of more, and then I'll bead, because if I left all the beading till the end, it would be a lot of beading, man. It would be like, I like beading, but I like to like break it up and do some stitches and then bead and then stitches and then bead. There's no way that I would bead it all at once. Like, that's just too much. But I'm gonna do that, and I will show you later. Okie dokie, guys. That is 1.5 motifs beaded. So that's what it, where's my finger? That's what it looks like when you're just doing the stitches, and then that's what it looks like when you bead it. So, like, look at all those beads. Holy cannoli. Nicole. I like it. I like it a lot. So I just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5 more to go. So guys, I'm going to do another little experiment with this. As you can see, these are the old lines that I drew yesterday that reappeared after freezing. These are 2 brand new fresh marks that I made just now. And I have some ecru thread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch over top of it and see if it shows up. Okay guys, so I stitched, as you can see, it's an ecru color. I stitched over the fresh lines that I drew and the old lines that's shown up. So you can obviously see your lines through the light colored fabric, through the light colored threads. So typically when you finish a project, you don't iron the top of your work, right? You go to the back and you iron the back of your work to get the wrinkles out. What we typically do is we wash our cross stitches, right, in hot water or cool water. With Magic Guide, you have to do it in hot water. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and see if the pen marks will come out with hot water. Stay tuned! Okay guys, so I have the sink filled up with hot water and some Dawn dish soap. I cut my little piece of fabric that I did the experiment on, and I'm going to see what happens. Oh, yep, look at that. Okay, so it comes out quite nicely when you just simply dunk it in the water. So now I will leave it to dry and I will see if the marks reappear after it dries. Now I know the marks reappeared after we put it in the freezer, but who puts their projects in the freezer? Does my house get cold? Yes, it does get cold. It can get very cold when we don't have wood on the fire. So I'm just going to wait and see. Let it sit at room temperature in our house and see what happens. But the hot water does take the grid lines out quite nicely. As you can see, there is no evidence of either the new or the old. So that's good news. Now we'll just wait and see for it to dry and see if they reappear. I might get back to you tomorrow because I don't know how long this takes to dry. Good evening, everybody. So it is the next day and it is evening. And I forgot to say goodnight to you. But it's kind of a good thing because, as I told you, I thought I would wait for the piece to dry. And it's dry. No marks came back. There you go. And the window here is open. And it's dark. And it's cold. It's quite chilly. Although I'm in a tank top, but I'm going to be closing this right away because it is very chilly. And I put it by the door here to see what it would do by the outdoor cold, because typically we don't put our cross stitches in the freezer. At least I don't. So my conclusion on this is I think it would be safe to use for Ada projects that you're using DMC with. Projects that you can wash, and yeah, I would never use a pen on hand-dyed fabrics, and I would never use a pen on projects that use silk or hand-dyed floss. But if you say you wanted to grid your Heaven and Earth designs or your Tiltons or Charting Creations, I would say that the pens would be safe to use, because unless you're storing them in the freezer, they're not really going to show back up. And as you saw earlier, you can use anything with heat. So an iron, hot water, and I even heard a blow dryer. So that's my conclusion. I give it 2 thumbs up. I give it 2 thumbs up. So that's my thoughts on those Frixion pens. Okay, I'm going to say goodnight for real now. Bye!